welcome back. Today I'm going to be sharing with you my top 5 favorite beauty products for the month of March. To start things off, I have a somewhat oldie but a goodie, and it is the Anastasia Beverly Hills Norvina palette. If you haven't seen one of these before, this is what it looks like on the inside. And this was one that I kind of hummed and hawed about getting when it first released, and I ended up getting it for Christmas for my husband. I did have it on my Christmas list, and he did a very good job, and I got it. And I used it a couple times when I first got it, and I liked it, but then I just kind of put it into my collection. I thought, okay, when I go through my rotation with my eyeshadows, or my eyeshadow palettes, then I'll pull it out and use it again. I will link in the cards here on a video I did on how I choose my eyeshadow palettes each week. I do a random number generator and go that way so that I can cycle through all of my palettes and it's randomly done. Anyway, this one was picked for this past week, and when I opened it, I was like, yes, I am so excited to use this palette. And I know when it first came out, a lot of people were disappointed because they were expecting a lot more purple in it and just something different, I think. But for me, I love the shadows in the colors in this particular palette. I do have the Modern Renaissance palette, and to be honest, when I got it, I only got it because of all the hype, and I thought, okay, I'm gonna get this, I'm gonna pick it up, and I'm gonna love it because everybody else does. And every time it comes into my rotation to use, because I bought it like a month or two after it came out, so I've had it for a couple years, and every time it comes into my rotation to use, I'm just like, what am I gonna do with this? I always get the same sort of looks, and I've learned I am not a pink and berry tone person for myself. I don't always enjoy how it looks on me, but I really like the colors in this palette. And I don't know if I'm allowed to say that, but the Modern Renaissance is a regret of mine. It's one that I kind of wish I had never picked up. It's one I don't want to get rid of because, let's face it, they're pricey palettes. I think they're $60 here in Canada, $55. It's a pretty penny to spend on some eyeshadow, and I don't want it to just go to waste, so I will use it. I don't hate it. It's just when I open this up to use it, it makes me happy. I'm excited to do my makeup every day this week when I'm going to be using this palette, whereas when I have the Modern Renaissance palette out, I'm kind of like, what am I going to do? I usually pick 2 palettes every week, and I usually gravitate more to the other palette that I picked. I have to force myself to use the Modern Renaissance, whereas this one, I was so excited to use it every day this week, and it did not disappoint. It was one that I enjoyed pulling from and creating different looks, and just, I can do a natural look, I can do a more fun look, I can do something a little bit deeper, I can do something really light. It just works on so many levels for me, and I know it's not a super bright palette, and it doesn't have a ton of super different colors. It is fairly neutral, but I like the neutrals in this particular palette compared to something like the Modern Renaissance or even the Soft Glam or the Sultry palette. This is something that's more up my alley. Now the Riviera palette, that is what I would like to get, but I haven't gotten it yet. I kind of wish it wasn't limited edition, but we will see. Maybe I'll pick it up. I'm not sure yet. But at this point, this is definitely a favorite for the month of March. This is something that I have really looked forward to using every time that I've done my makeup. Next up, I have an item that when I first got it, I didn't like it at all. And I think it might be a little bit finicky, but I really like how it wears on my skin now. And it is the Makeup Revolution Conceal and Define Full Coverage Foundation. This is in the shade F7. This is a perfect match for me right now. If you haven't seen it before, it's one of these big doe foot applicators, which I'm not a fan of either. I much rather have a pump or a squeezy tube than actually sticking this all over my face. I don't enjoy that aspect of it. But other than that, I really like the formula of this. And again, I didn't like it when I first got it, but I was using a brush with it because that's usually what I use for my foundation. And one of the main reasons is because I'm lazy, and once I get started going with my makeup in the morning, I don't always like going and wetting my beauty blender or my makeup sponge. So usually I just go for a brush, and then if I need to like erase any streakiness from it, I just take a dry blender and then kind of go over my face with that. But that didn't work with this, and I think maybe the primers I was using in the beginning with it weren't working as well. And I think another factor of it was, although I have very normal skin in the drier months like January and February when I first initially got this, my skin was a little bit more dehydrated. I wasn't drinking as much water like I should be either. And so I think that played a part in me not liking this. So switching up my primers a little bit and using a makeup sponge with this instead of a brush really made me enjoy how this wears. It wears really well for me throughout the day. This concealer works really well for me. It lasts all day for me. It doesn't get splotchy or start breaking up or anything like that. It wears well. I can't complain about it. Like I said, the only thing I don't really like about it is the applicator in it, but I can live with it. It's not something I'm sharing with other people, so it's not a huge deal. It's just, I'd rather not be sticking my own oils onto the wand and then sticking it back in. And I know I could put it on a palette or my hand, but I tried that. It's a little bit too more high maintenance, kind of like getting off my butt and going and wetting a beauty sponge. But when I make it work, as in going and wetting my beauty sponge and using it that way, it works really well and it's affordable. And again, another affordable or drugstore price foundation. I have only found, I think, 1 or 2 high-end foundations that I really love, but I continuously find drugstore and affordable foundations that just knock it out of the park and work well for me all the time. So again, I have fairly normal skin. The wintertime, it feels a little bit dry, but throughout the day my oils come out a little bit, but nothing where I really have to blot or anything. And then now this time of year, again, I don't feel dry at all, and I don't feel like I have to blot at the end of the day. I just feel like my skin is a little bit more hydrated, but that could also be because I'm being better and actually drinking more water. The third item I have to talk about, I'm not even sure if anyone outside of Canada can get, but I will link it below nonetheless, and maybe you will luck out and be able to get it. But it is by Marcel, which is a Canadian makeup company here, and this is the face powder in, it has a name, Translucent Medium, and it has the slightest bit of pink tint to it. And I don't even, it's almost like a skin tone tint. Not sure if that'll translate to camera or not. It doesn't show up on my skin. Like when you put it on, it buffs out to almost nothing. And when I picked it up, I didn't see any other shades. So I'm not sure if there are more shades than this, but it does come in this generous sized tub here. But it's an illuminating powder, which I don't normally use because I find when I use anything that has any sort of illumination like that for a powder, it just kind of clings to any texture I have on my skin. And I don't have a lot, but I am getting older and it just seems to age me even more when I use stuff like that. But this, I heard someone talking about it, and it was a fellow Canadian, and I can't even remember who it was right now, but she was talking about it, and then I saw it, so I decided to pick it up. And thank goodness for points from Shoppers Drug Mart because I didn't pay for it, because otherwise I probably wouldn't have, because it's a loose powder, which I don't like, and it is illuminating, which I don't normally like. But I am so glad that I did pick it up because it just, as a finishing powder, not as a setting powder, but as a finishing powder, after I put everything on and I just lightly kind of fluff it all over my face, it just gives the softest glow and it doesn't leave my skin textured or anything like that. It's really, really beautiful. I like this better than my Hourglass powders, to be honest. My Hourglass powders give me a slight bit of that texture. I like the powders when I just want like a soft glow on the high points of my face, but this one to just kind of blend out on your entire face is beautiful. The next item I have is also a powder, and it is by Becca, and it is the Soft Light Blurring Powder, and this is in the shade Pink Haze. And I'm not sure if you can tell from here. I'm gonna open it. The packaging is just gorgeous in this. Oh yeah, that's a lot of pink. You can probably tell. It's pinker than my shirt. But this powder is beautiful. I love this for under my eyes. I love this for my under eyes to set my concealer. It just gives a really nice brightening effect. I do have to go in with a light hand with this, otherwise it will show pink noticeably if I'm not careful. The effect this gives to my under eyes when I do use it, it's brightening and it's very finely milled, so it doesn't settle into all my fine lines. It just smooths everything out. It's a really beautiful powder. I did get this on sale from Sephora, and when it's gone, I probably will pick another one up. Hopefully, fingers crossed, they'll have it on sale again. Doubtful, but maybe. The last item that I have to show you, it looks a little wonky because the packaging did come broken, and it's another item by Makeup Revolution. It is the Revolution Pro Skin Finish in Luminescence, and I had to glue the plastic top insert back on. because it came broken, but this is what it looks like. And it's just this baked, you're probably not going to be able to see anything, but it's just this baked highlighter, basically. And I'm going to really try and put it heavy on here. But it just has the nicest iridescence to it. It has like a pink iridescence to it. It's just really beautiful on the skin. I'm really getting into baked products lately. I never liked them before, mainly because of the way they felt in the pan, and when you swatch them, they just always felt really dry. But I'm finding I'm really liking how they look on my skin a lot more. And this color especially, it's not super over the top, but it gives the most beautiful glow to the skin. I do have an honorable mention for the month, and it's not necessarily a favorite. It's more of a, I'm going to pat myself on the back because I thought this was pretty clever. So I had one of those color switch things for your makeup brushes. It's one of those spongy things that comes in a tin. I had purchased it off of AliExpress, and I only paid a couple of dollars for it, but it took like 6 to 8 weeks to get to me. But my toddler was playing in my room around my vanity a few days ago, maybe a week ago, and he took it because he thought it'd be fun to play with, and I didn't think anything of it, but then it disappeared and I cannot find it anywhere. He likes to clean, so there's a good chance he put it in the garbage because that's usually what he does. But I wanted to get another one, but I knew I didn't want to buy one from Sephora because I think they're around $20, $22 there, and I'm like, I don't really want to spend that, and I didn't really want to wait to get another one from AliExpress. So I'm like, you know what? I know it's just like those hair donut things. I'm going to go to the dollar store and I'm going to try and figure something out. So I went to the dollar store, and sure enough, I found the hair donuts. No problem. This one was $1.25, but then I needed to find something to put it in. So I'm walking around and I found boxes, but they're square and that's round, and they were all slightly bigger than the hair donut. So I figured, okay, well, if I put the donut in there, it's just going to slide around when I'm cleaning my brushes. So I just kept walking around and looking, and then I found this. Isn't it cute? It's just this chest. And then you open it up, and there's the hair donut. It doesn't move. It's in there nice. I can take it out and clean it. I can like clean out the box if I want to. This was $2 for $3.25. I now have a brush cleaner. So yay me. I'm just proud of myself. And I didn't think I'd find anything that looked that nice. And this I like even better than the one I had originally, because the other one was just like in a metal tin. And this is pretty on my vanity. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. Let me know in the comments below some of the items that you've been enjoying this month. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. I hope you have a great day. Bye-bye.